back to the Daily Grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back pickle biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Yo, what is up, full-time family? Call me crazy, but I am feeling amazing. Yo, I'm sober as fuck. It's January 1st. I ain't smoked no weed today, and I'm feeling great. But with that being said, we got some fucking news. Y'all know Cris Cyborg and Holm just scrapped, bro. They just scrapped at UFC 219 2 days ago. Cris Cyborg defended her featherweight title versus Holm, busted up Holm's, face a little bit, had her, she won the fight in some people, and I don't understand where this is coming from, but I will tell you this. Some people actually said they had Holm winning that fight. That's really interesting to me. I don't know where, I guess, maybe if you're like Holm's boyfriend or team, I understand that, but if you think Holm actually won that fight, via decision or whatever, I think you're crazy. And that's just because, I was very impressed with Holm. Very, very impressed with her performance. She was coming forward. She wasn't just getting on her bike and, it wasn't a boring, usually the counter striker, the fighter like Holm or Stephen Wonderboy Thompson or Anderson Silva, they can have boring fights if they don't come forward. If their opponent decides, you know what, I'm not going to play their game and charge into their counter striking, you can see boring fights out of the Holms and the Stephen Wonderboy Thompsons of the world. But Holm, yo, she was not, that wasn't her gameplay. She was coming in, boom, boom. Now, she was getting cracked on the way in, but she was still coming forward, throwing shots, throwing her combo and shit. She looked a little stronger than Cris Cyborg in the clinch at times, and I was like, yo, Holm has definitely got heart, but we all knew that from the fucking Misha Tate fight when she was winning for 4 rounds and got choked and went to sleep. She didn't tap. No, she left that for Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz in the main event. But Holm in the co-main event went to sleep, took a nap, boom, came out, fought Cris Cyborg. So if you're talking about the dopest female fighter, who's got the most heart, if you want to do a fucking Sun and Gaethje scale for women, it's gonna have to be Magana Holm, because I think Holm's probably got the most heart out of any female fighter I've seen in my 5 to 10 years as a fan. But with that being said, Holm has amazing heart. She showed her heart, but Cris Cyborg showed her dominance, and now we get to the real fuckery. Here's where the real fuckery comes into play. After the fight, I guess somebody from Jackson Wink, Team Jackson Wink, I think one of their photographers, but they did have media credentials. That's why, of course, they're a photographer. Well, after the fight, one of the photographers from Team Holm allegedly took to Instagram and made this post that you see on the left. The post said, "This dude is tough as hell." That being said, at the press conference, he said Holly was the first to make him make his nose bleed. "You're my hero, Holm. See you back at the gym, UFC 219. And so it sounds like a cool ass message until you realize he's talking about Cris Cyborg being the dude in the picture. He's saying this dude is tough as hell. It's a picture of Cris Cyborg. He said that fucking, Holly was the first to make his nose bleed. You clearly get it. All the male pronouns. I mean, come on, bro. You could have threw a couple Z's or some Zers or with all that new weird shit in there. Come on, that would have still probably been offensive. Why didn't you say she? But it doesn't matter. You get it. When somebody from Team Holm called Cyborg a man, essentially. And so now, and I think it was just a photographer, and of course, all of this is prefaced by allegedly. But with that being said, Cris Cyborg has demanded a public apology. This is what Cyborg Nation said on Twitter. "I want an apology, Jackson Wink MMA. I was nothing but respectful to Holm and your team." And she tagged the UFC and McMaynard and responded to Damon Martin, the guy that, put this shit on blast. And so Cyborg ain't having that shit. Now, one thing I'll say is this ever gonna stop? Oh my lord, for one, okay, I guess we might as well talk about it for a second. Let's talk about it. I mean, Cris Cyborg, she goes by Cris, and I completely understand if a girl's name is Christy or Christiane, you might call him Cris for short. But what I will offer you is, if you are combating people calling you a man and people saying you're transgendered, people saying you've got a cock and all of this stuff, maybe, the name Cris, if you gave me a piece of paper and it said Cris fucking Johnson, I'm thinking it's a dude. If it says Christiane Johnson, chick. So, I mean, and that could be a completely side note, but I'm just saying, when you walk around being called Cris, that doesn't help. And then on to, now that's just a whole side note that's not a serious point, but it is something I've thought about. But a serious note is, how long is this gonna fucking go on? Last year, the year before, how many years have there been people, whether it's from, and luckily this time it wasn't from an actual UFC employee. Luckily this time it wasn't a commentator or the president himself or, you know, a UFC new owner. This time it was just one of Cris Cyborg's opponent's photographers. Are you guys seriously gonna tell me you expect every single person that knows Holly Holm to not make any remarks about her opponent? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of Holly Holm fans, and take it a step further, Holly Holm's got a lot of people that are actually on her team, whether it's the photographers, whether it's the coaches, whether it's the fucking, everyone on her team, of course, cares about her that much more. Imagine a family member. So what's happening here is the whole Jackson Wink MMA camp and Holly Holm is like being wrapped around calling Cyborg a man because their photographer said it. And it's like, I want an apology from your whole team because your photographer called. How about you get an apology from the photographer? You know what I'm saying? You should have tagged the photographer, but it's making it a whole bigger deal with this Cris Cyborg scenario. And people, of course, are going to take Cyborg's team side, or both sides of this. There's going to be people on both sides, but there's going to be people like, oh, there's just too many people that call Cyborg a man, and it's just so hurtful for us to hear Cyborg called a man. And, you know, it's just, there's never a place for this. I don't care if you're just a fan in the farthest row, you cannot say the word man when, god damn, bro, it is just so fucking soft and corny, and it's a word for one. For two, you're wanting to fucking, and this is on, you know, the Holly Holm side, like, fucking, you want a public apology from everybody. And you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're offended by what that guy said, maybe we need to work about getting an apology from that guy. But this is turning this shit into a Holly Holm versus Cris Cyborg. Someone called Cris Cyborg a man, and Holly Holm literally had nothing to do with this shit. Jackson Wink, Greg Jackson, these guys, they literally had nothing to do with this shit. It was a photographer. What the fuck? I didn't even know all of these fighters had their own photographers, but if they do, you're telling me if a photographer fucking says his, and she didn't even say, hey, look at this fucking transgender dude, that, you know, this was a man versus woman, it was unfair. He, even though he was getting his jokes off, he did say that Cyborg was tough as hell. He did say Holly, you know what I'm saying? So I understand there's gonna be people that are fucking sad and crying and, oh my god, fucking Holly's camp is racist or sexist because they said Cyborg's a man. And then there's gonna be people like me that are like, it was literally just a photographer that watched one of his best friends get their ass beat. If one of your you remember when Conor McGregor was backstage with Artem Lobov, like, ah, oh, don't worry, you know, he's a faggot. He wasn't calling fucking Andre Fili gay, to my knowledge. He was just, you know, consoling a teammate that just got his ass whooped. When you're a photographer on Team Holm and Holly Holm's walking out of the cage looking like Cris Cyborg, and you know what I'm saying? Like, literally, I don't know if you guys saw that. Like, there was like some memes going around, like some people, like, it was like, oh look, twins, and it was like Holly Holm and Cris Cyborg, but Holly Holm's face was fucked up, and they were like, oh, who wore it better? And it was like Cris Cyborg and Holly Holm's face was fucked up. So what I'm saying is, if one of the people that you actually care about just got their fucking ass whooped, yeah, if this was Holly Holm's mom, I guess it wouldn't matter because they weren't credentialed. But just because it's a photographer, they're fucking putting it on Jackson Wink. And with that being said, I'm setting up on this fucking punk-ass topic. I don't even like this topic, but it is the biggest shit going on right now. Of course, the Khabib, Conor McGregor shit. And other than that, there's really not much else going on, man. I've been trying to keep myself busy today because you guys know, fucking New Year's resolution, not smoking, fucking got the jitters and shit a little bit. I really want to smoke a blunt or something, but I'm not doing it. So I'm actually probably about to go pop a motherfucking Benadryl and put myself to sleep. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. I think actually there might be one more video coming out today. So thank you guys for watching this. You guys did see the New Year's stream got brought back up. I just had to mute like 2 minutes of the 5-hour fucking stream. You guys realize that 5-hour stream was about to be taken down because 2 minutes of a song? Anyways, that 5 hours worth of fucking content and stream is back up, thankfully, because I muted 2 minutes of it. So you can go check that out. New Year's stream. It ended up going for a while. We rocked all the way through New Year's. I was a little drunk at the end. I really don't, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we had fun. I'm still having fun, man. I'm looking forward to 2018 as a channel, as a motherfucking full-time family. I know I'm rambling, but that's what you do sometimes, especially when you're sober-faced. You motherfucking You know, your mind ain't fucking numb. My shit ain't numb right now. My shit is fucking firing off on all cylinders. So that's why I'm talking a lot. But with that being said, man, I've said this. It is what it is. Let the full-time fan know what the fuck you tell me in the comments. I'm out. Let me know what you think about these fucking Holm photographer calling Cris Cyborg a man and wanting a public apology in the comments, man. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOWG.